Welcome to Oxford News This Week. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Terry Stiles. In this week's news, the Trail Council considers acquiring church property, police tax needed to keep current staffing, and Village celebrates women's suffrage with special flag.
Stay tuned. Learn more about these stories and others. The Oxford News begins right now. For those Addison residents who saw billows of smoke fill the air last Saturday, not to worry, it was a training exercise for the Addison Township firefighters. The crew spent their Saturday morning honing their skills and adding to their knowledge during a live fire training exercise. As part of their training, they burned a house to the ground. According to Addison Township Supervisor Bruce Pearson, the house on Noble Road was built sometime in the late 19th century.
Last week, the Pollyant Trail Management Council voted unanimously to purchase or have a permanent lease of land belonging to Pathway Christian Church of Oxford. Board members Donnie Steele and Curtis Wright, along with trail manager Linda Moran, will meet with church representatives to discuss the transaction and then report back to the council at its August meeting. Steele told council the pastor of the church said the congregation would entertain an offer to sell or lease the property as it is a free and clear church owned by the church. Moran noted the church is not for sale at this time.
When Oxford Township's absentee voters soon receive their ballots in the mail, Parks and Recreation Director Ron Davis hopes voters will say yes to a millage renewal designed to continue funding his department for another decade. As part of the August 6th special election, voters are being asked to approve a 10-year, 1 mill request to fund the Parks and Recreation Department's operations. This mill is to bring the original mill voted on in 1995 back to its original amount. Due to the Headley rollback, the current mill is reduced to 0.82 mills. If approved, the tax levy would begin in December 2020 and end in December 2029. It's expected to generate over $900,000 in its first year. 1 mill is equal to $1 for every $1,000 of property taxable value. If anyone has any questions regarding the millage proposal, Davis encouraged them to call the department at 248-628-1720. The township is planning to send out over 1,800 absentee ballots this week.
Oxford Township and Oakland County Road Commission has finally reached an agreement last week, which will keep them out of the courtroom. This comes after more than a year of disagreements over who should pay for the replacement of the failed culvert and rebuilding of a collapsed section of Wood Trail in Oxford Township. The township agreed to use monies from the Road Commission tri-party program to pay $150,000 of the cost to repair the road and install the new culvert beneath it. Despite signing the agreement, Township Supervisor Bill Dunn said he still believes the township did not owe a penny because the township does not own the road or the culvert. Nevertheless, Dunn said he is relieved the county has settled without a lawsuit.
No final decisions were made regarding construction or cost of a new Addison Township Public Library. However, figures were presented to the library board at the June 18th meeting. The library is looking to spend approximately $900,000 on the site development, construction, equipment, and furnishings for a new 5,000 square foot building and are currently looking to adjust plans to further lower those estimated construction costs.
Addison Township does not have a logo, and the township officials are hoping to change that by asking for the public's help. Last week, Addison announced it will be conducting a logo contest open to adults and children, residents and non-residents. Entries will be accepted from July 1st through 5 p.m. September 30th. Each entry must have 2 identical logos, both on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper on one, A larger drawing should be formatted to fit the page. On the second, a smaller drawing formatted to a 3 by 3 size should be included. Entries that do not include two identical logos will be disqualified. A person is allowed to submit multiple entries, but each must be accompanied by a separate entry form. All entries will be reviewed and judged by the Township Board. Officials are expected to make a decision by January 31st, 2020, or sooner. The winner will receive $200, while the runner-up will get $50. All submissions must contain an official entry form, which can be obtained by visiting twp.addison.mi.us. That's a mouthful.
Second flag is now flying beneath the American flag in downtown Oxford Centennial Park. This purple, yellow, and white banner celebrates the 100th anniversary of Michigan's ratification of the 19th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, giving women the right to vote. The flag bears 36 stars representing the number of states required to approve the original amendment. Village officials held a small ceremony in the park last week to celebrate the important role Michigan played in this milestone in American history. President of the Village Council, Joe Frost, said they were gathered to recognize the mothers, daughters, and sisters in the village and across the state who fought to secure their right to participate in the political process.
Spoons are typically used for slurping soup and stirring coffee, but in the nimble hands of Jim Krasuski, these ordinary household utensils become percussion instruments, perfect for playing along to everything from big band music to rock and roll. Stage named the Spoon Man, he visited the Oxford Public Library last week to share his unique sound and an important message to kids, which is that they can be successful at whatever they choose if they just say no to drugs and get an education and obey their parents. Thanks for the visit, Spoon Man. How cute.
That's great advice, by the way.
I've heard of everything. It's pretty impressive to see people play those spoons. I don't know how they do it. I've tried a couple times and I wing them here and there.
And you're very talented too, so I'm
Well,
surprised.
thank you. No, well, not with spoons anyhow. I haven't played an instrument in years, but I did play at one time.
That sounds like my kind of instrument. You could eat and play at the same time.
Heck yeah.
That's a good deal.
Maybe we should learn that together. Does anybody teach classes out there? And maybe we can get the Spoon Man in here and teach us, huh?
That would be interesting.
Actually, let's try to do that.
Right.
So I want to say I don't normally wear a T-shirt when I'm doing the news, but
She does wear clothes.
feeling pretty patriotic. And,
Right.
we're coming up. Yes, I do.
Okay.
We're coming up on 4th of July. This entire week, we're going to be celebrating 4th of July. And I know if you live on a lake, which you live in a lake
Right.
neighborhood, you see fireworks all
All the time.
week long, right?
Yep. Now
Or
they,
this
of course,
week
with
and next week.
right. It's going to be fantastic. I think where I come from, Bay City, they have outstanding
Oh, they
fireworks
sure
every year,
do.
right on the river.
Yep, I've experienced
Yeah.
that before. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. And by the time you see this, Seymour celebration will already have happened, but the Parks and Rec Department, and I know you read this story on renewing their millage. I didn't want to say increasing, that's wrong.
Yeah, it's not
They
increased.
had fantastic fireworks, two nights this year rather than one.
And I'd like to, really give a plug to Ron Davis, who's the Park and Recs director.
Yeah,
He
he's-
does a fantastic job with a number of people that he has employed.
Wow, yeah.
Not many people, and they have multiple parks in Oxford
Yeah.
that he maintains, and doing just a fantastic job. Very limited resources in terms of funds.
Yeah.
I think the ballot is very important to them this year in getting that
Sure
millage
is.
through.
That's it for Oxford News this week. If you'd like to learn more about these stories and others, you can pick up a copy of the Oxford Leader, or better yet, catch us on our website, occtv.org, on YouTube, and of course our regular cable channel, Spectrum, Channel 191, and AT&T, Channel 99.
And coming up soon, OCTV's very own Cody Wright with school sports and school news with Alexis Ware. And you won't want to miss Auto Talk and Science in the News with Dave Kenny.
I'm Terry Stiles. Thanks for watching Oxford News this week, where we bring your news closer to home.
And I'm Elgin Nichols. Remember, always be kind to your friends and neighbors, and thanks for watching.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to School News. I hope you all are enjoying your summer, but in case you're looking for something more to do, here are a list of events to entertain you. Oxford Public Library has events in the teen department, starting with their Maker Mondays from noon until 4. This past Monday was Stardust Magnets. They're bringing in the month of July with Moon Rocks. The Monday after that, students get to make their very own cosmic cake pops. July 15th is Galaxy Globes, and the last Maker Mondays is in theme with Summer Reading Month with Out of This World books. Another day to put on your calendars for the summer is every Thursday at Oxford Public Library for their Throwback Thursday movies. This past week was the movie Flight of the Navigator. Next Thursday, July 11th, is Galaxy Quest. Next week is The Last Starfighter, and towards the end of July on the 25th, they will be showing the movie Tron. These movies begin at 2 p.m. every Thursday, so don't be late. All of this information can be found online at miopl.org. That's Oxford, Michigan's public library site. If you're looking online to see what else the library offers, be sure to check for the right address, because there is an Oxford, Wisconsin public library site as well. This Sunday, July 7th, is Summer Sundays at Upland Hills Farm on Lake George Road, and they'll be continuing these Sunday Fun Days all summer long in case you can't make this week. The days are listed on their website at uplandhills.com and on Facebook at Upland Hills Farm. Also remember, if you or someone you know received free or reduced lunch during the school year, they're having a free summer food program going on through August 9th. For those students, the program offers both breakfast and lunch and is being ran at the Oxford Middle School on 1420 Lakeville Road. Breakfast is served at 8 until 9:30 a.m. and lunch begins at 11:15 until 12:30 p.m. For questions, please call Karen Bessett at 248-969-5120 for more information. But that about does it for School News. Next up is Cody Wright with School Sports.
What's going on, Wildcat fans? Cody Wright back here with another sports report. We do got some good stuff to watch this week, so let's dive right in. First off, the Tough Mudders coverage is now up and ready on YouTube. It looks great, so if you missed out a few weekends back or just want to look back at what a blast it all was, check it out. Anyways, here is our promo of the Tough Mudders. Also, the last few weeks, we started covering one of our favorites, senior softball. Last week's game is on YouTube now, and this week was a big game. We competed for the first place spot and succeeded. It was a great game. The coverage of that game will be posted hopefully by next week. We got some interviews, though, the week before after the guys mercied Birmingham here at Seymour Lake Park. Here's Larry Jensen, Mark Emerson, and newcomers Denny Brown and Jerry Rushlow. Here it is. Check it out.
All right, Larry Jensen, I'll tell you what, I was making fun of you a little bit. You were actually pinch running. What's up with that?
I know. Well,
we're in sad shape when Larry Jensen's pinch running.
Well, this season for sure, I can tell you. Yeah, I used to run all the time. Then last year at the end, I tore my Achilles.
Yeah,
and,
I remember that.
And it's good now. But still, if there are other guys willing to run, I'm willing to sit.
Yeah.
So, and watch them run.
Well, I tell you look good defensively and at the stick, too. Looking good today.
Well, yeah, sometimes games fall in the right way. You just get in rhythm. And I think there's some things that are team contagious, like the hitting, and guys get stroking the ball, and we get running, we get moving. Yeah, today was a lot of fun, and we played a really fun team. There's a bunch of great guys over
They
there.
are good guys, aren't they? All right, I'm here with Mark Emerson. Mark Emerson retired from this team so that he could go work, and now he retired from work, and he's back on the team. 3 for 3 today.
Yeah, it felt good to be back out here. This is my second game. I played Monday and come out here, and it was 3 years, pretty much to the day. And man, just a bunch of great guys, and just fun to play the great game of softball for sure.
That's the key right there. These guys are fun.
They are. They're a bunch of fun guys.
Come on in here. We got another new guy here too.
There you go.
Well, welcome. Team name again?
Denny Brown.
Denny Brown. Okay, well, great. He's a new addition to the team. We'll get to know everything about you. We'll be making fun of you and everything. Are you good with that?
Yeah, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. No problem.
I'll tell you, you couldn't find a better group of guys to play ball with. I'll tell
Yeah, I'm quite surprised. I came out of retirement for this, and the first day I walked up here, I saw the talent, and I'm like, hey, this is gonna be pretty good.
you. Yeah.
So I didn't know what to expect with some 70-year-olds, but they're outplaying me. So no,
Step up your game.
I'm quite surprised, and I'm having a blast.
You know, they're a perfect blend of competition, but they're still laid back. It's really neat where they're at.
Yes. They don't have to run fast because everybody runs the same.
That's true.
There are a few speedsters, but occasionally it's all good.
Like I said, great bunch of guys and everything. There's Cunningham. Here's one of the good ones. Hey, Dave. He always skips out on the camera. Well, welcome to the team, guys. We got another guy we got to introduce to the new team as well. Get over here. Yeah, let's see who. I got to do the names here. Dennis Brown, right?
No, sir.
No. That was Denny Brown. You are
Jerry Rushlow.
Jerry Rushlow. Here we go. I'm sorry, Jerry.
It's all right. It's all right.
You picked a great group of guys.
Yeah, you bet.
You've played a lot of ball in your day?
Every year since I was 18.
Yeah, that's a couple years.
Yeah, about 40 some.
How'd you hook up with these guys?
A couple buddies that I used to play with.
Well, thank you, Mr. Rushlow. Maybe we'll see you up at 24th, right?
Yeah, real professional.
All right, there we go. Come on, Mike. Come on, bring your friend up here. Get up here. All right, Mike Newmanowski. Let's introduce your young man friend here.
This is Yeet from the country of Turkey. I introduced him first today to a first-time baseball for him. In fact, so he understands this maybe a little bit more, and I'm glad we had a good game and won today for him, else I'd have to explain how losing is.
Well, we put him on a little bit.
Oh, okay. Did you? Very good, very good.
So what do you think, Yeet?
Well, it's a weird game, and the thing that makes me think is, why are they throwing the ball so slowly? But I think I get it.
Oh, the pitcher to the bit. Yeah, well, we're older gentlemen. That's why, I think.
Oh, the softball thing. Yeah, that is a little bit different.
Well, still, it was fun, starting to understand the game generally, so that's cool.
Well, good. That's fun. The learning curve is the fun part. Mike, you're doing good. They moved you over to the other side of the field. What's up with that?
Well, I'm getting a little bit up in age here. I have to admit that, but I don't feel it. But I think my reflexes have slowed down. I'm admitting it, and I feel a little more comfortable over there now. And
I thought you did a good job at third.
Yeah, I know. Thank you. I'm the utility third baseman now, but
there you go. Brooks Robinson has moved to second base here.
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, but it's always good seeing you guys, and thanks for coming out today and just kind of watching us with a good victory.
Absolutely. Thanks, Mike. Yeet, very good to meet you.
Yeah,
take back these memories to Turkey with you. Thank you, Yeet. And anyways, we want to thank everybody for watching OCTV's coverage of men's senior softball here at Seymour Lake Park. I'm Rod Wright.
That is one of the best teams to cover. Those guys are fun to talk to. They're all great ball players, and they have the right balance of competition and fun involved in the game. Anyhow, we are out of time. We'll have more senior softball interviews next week, and I'm sure some Parks and Rec Little League action as well. I want to thank you all for watching and remind you all to tune in next time. But until then, I'm Cody Wright. Go Wildcats.
Welcome to this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from the publication Automotive News. In our first story, Fiat Chrysler Automobiles is resurrecting the Voyager nameplate for a lower-priced version of the 2020 Chrysler Pacifica that targets entry-level buyers. The Plymouth Voyager, one of two minivans, along with the Dodge Caravan, was launched by Chrysler in the 1984 model year, creating one of the industry's most successful product segments. The Voyager nameplate was transferred to Chrysler brand when Plymouth was discontinued and dropped dropped altogether in 2003. Though pricing was not released, FCA said the 2020 Chrysler Voyager is aimed at budget-conscious families and fleet customers. The Chrysler Voyager replaces the Pacifica L and LX models and will be offered in 3 trim lines, L, LX, and LXI. The LXI will be sold only to fleet customers. The 2019 Pacifica has a base price of $28,730, including $1,495 for shipping. FCA will continue selling the Dodge Grand Caravan for 2020, the company official said, and automaker has sold more than 14.6 million minivans globally since 1983, though the segment continues to shrink with U.S. deliveries down 17% this year through May. FCA said the Chrysler Voyager minivan will be equipped with a 287 horsepower V6 engine and a 9-speed automatic transmission. Other standard features will include 7-passenger seating and Apple CarPlay and Android Auto compatibility. Wow. And at VW, Volkswagen Group Supervisory Board plans to discuss and possibly approve next steps towards expanding an alliance with Ford Motor Company when it meets in 2 weeks, according to people familiar with the matter. An agreement announced in January to cooperate on vans and pickup trucks with Ford could be firmed up at the July 11th board meeting, with the alliance potentially extending to include joint work on self-driving and electric car technology, according to the people who asked not to be identified because, well, the meetings are private. VW's tie-up with Ford is likely to include an investment in the U.S. company's autonomous affiliate Argo AI, and a deal could be announced as early as July, people familiar with the talk said earlier this month. Such a partnership could rival Google affiliate Waymo and General Motors Cruise unit in ambition and scope, one of the people said. Ford and VW have discussed an approximate value for Argo of $4 billion, a person familiar with their deliberations said in February. The Ford cooperation and planned listing of VW's truck unit Traton SE are among VW's key initiatives to lift the depressed valuation of the world's largest automaker. A high valuation is an important acquisition currency in the upcoming phase of consolidation in the industry, VW CEO Herbert Diess told the VW managers. It's also a virtual currency for partnerships that we need for the transformation. Diess ruled out entering equity ties with Ford in January when the initial plans for the alliance were mapped out. Traditional rivalries between car makers have started to fall by the wayside as a costly shift to electric cars and new models for car ownership accelerates. Automakers are looking to boost scale to spread the cost of making battery-powered vehicles. While sales of electric cars are rising, they remain a fraction of combustion cars, and the investments required to develop self-driving autos are enormous. Evidence for the push for consolidation includes Fiat Chrysler Automobile's failed proposal for a tie-up with Renault SA to become the world's 3rd largest automaker. Daimler AG and BMW AG have also teamed up on car sharing and autonomous driving. And at Toyota Motor Company will begin phasing in 2 safety features to its upcoming vehicles for the 2020 model year, one of which will help prevent them from rolling away when the driver has exited the vehicle. The automaker says it will upgrade a 17-year-old system that issues a 2-step alert to alert the driver, that is to say, to request the driver to turn off a long idling engine to one that provides an automatic engine shutoff at a predetermined interval of time and an enhanced audible and visual warning on its smart key system depending on equipment. The company promised that an additional warning delivered via its smartphone app will be forthcoming. The second upgrade, which Toyota calls Automatic Park, will automatically shift the vehicle into park or apply the electronic emergency brake in vehicles so equipped in the event the driver exits without shifting the automatic transmission into park. A Toyota spokeswoman said the feature is activated when the driver's side door is opened and the driver's seatbelt is unbuckled. The feature will begin phasing in with the 2020 model year, Toyota says. Toyota didn't say how long it planned to take to phase in the safety features across the lineup. Well, that's it for this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and as always, may the wind be at your back as you cruise down life's highways.
Canine Stray Rescue does just that. Rescue stray dogs for new families. But they need your help. Become a volunteer at Canine Stray Rescue League of Michigan. Take dogs for walks, help them socialize with others, and help them get adopted. Fill out an application and help a family add a new member today.
Welcome to Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from the publication New Scientist. In our first story, NASA is going to send a drone called Dragonfly to Saturn's largest moon, Titan. It's planning to launch in 2026 and land on Titan in 2034. The Dragonfly mission falls under NASA's New Frontiers program, which began a selection process with 12 proposals in April of 2017. It was narrowed to just 2 that December. Dragonfly and the Comet Astrobiology Exploration Sample Return, or CSER mission, a plan to revisit the asteroid 67P Churyumov-Gerasimenko, the same one that Rosetta spacecraft visited from 2014 to 2016, and return a sample of its dust to Earth for further study. Both missions were given $4 million to develop their concepts. Now, the Dragonfly researchers will get an additional $850 million to actually build the spacecraft, along with a rocket ride to Titan. The mission will consist of a quadcopter about 1 meter high and 3 meters across, powered by plutonium. Facilitated by Titan's thick orange haze and low gravity, the drone will use its rotors to hop around the surface, covering far more ground than a rover could and taking valuable data from multiple distinct locations. Titan is an interesting destination because it's the only other world we've seen with liquid on its surface. It has glistening lakes and seas of liquid methane and ethane. That liquid, combined with complex molecules that rain down from the atmosphere, make it one of the best places in the solar system to look for life. And back on Earth, in soils across the world, fungi trade resources with the plants they colonize in a mutually beneficial relationship. But it turns out the fungi are savvy traders, taking advantage of their partners by shuttling goods to nutrient-starved areas where plants are willing to pay more than usual. The discovery is the latest demonstration that even simple, brainless organisms are capable of sophisticated trading strategies. The roots of most land plants are colonized by arbuscular mycorrhizal fungi, which comprise elaborate networks of fine white filaments. The fungi provide plants with phosphorus and receive carbon in return. A single fungal network can be connected to many plants and vice versa, meaning the two parties can switch between trading partners, and there is plenty of scope of wheeling and dealing. Toby Keers, an evolutionary biologist at the Free University of Amsterdam in the Netherlands, has previously shown that fungi tend to avoid trading with plants growing in the shade. She has even caught them hoarding phosphorus to inflate the amount of carbon they get in return. Now, inspired by economist Thomas Piketty's best-selling book on the subject, she was curious to see how the fungi deal with resource inequality. How do they adapt their trading strategies when phosphorus supply is patchy? To find out, Keers and her colleagues used differently colored light-emitting particles called quantum dots to tag phosphorus, allowing them to track its movements through fungal networks connected to a host root in Petri dishes. They exposed the networks to unequal distributions of the mineral. In one dish, the left side received 70% of the phosphorus while the right got 30%. In another, the left got 90% and the right got 10%. In a control, the two sides received 50% each. After 60 days of exposure, the researchers noticed 2 clear patterns in the unequal treatments. First, inequality stimulated trade. The greater the disparity across the network, the more the fungus transferred phosphorus to the root. Second, the fungus did this in an unusual way. We could see the fungus was moving phosphorus across the network to its lower resource side, said Keers. If the resource-rich patch was on the right side of the dish, for example, most of the phosphorus ended up on the left side. This suggests the fungus shifts its resources to the side of the root bundle where resources are scarce. Here, demand is higher and the plant is potentially willing to pay more, says Keers. It's a classic trading strategy. Buy low, sell high. The researchers hope to conduct another experiment tracking carbon trading between the roots and fungus to firm up this conclusion. David Johnson, a soil ecologist at the University of Manchester in the UK, was not surprised that the fungi have this ability. The fungus is not merely a passive passenger in this symbiosis, he says. It may be dependent on the plant, but it is there for its own benefit and has evolved mechanisms to look after itself, which include the ability to move resources around in response to environmental conditions. The big mystery is how fungi coordinate trading strategies in the absence of cognition or brains. Well, that's it for this edition of Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny. Stay tuned to Oxford Community Television.